Hey everyone, before we get into the big three here, just want to say that I appreciate everybody that has been liking and sharing the videos. And the more likes and shares and comments and views that they get, the more motivated I am to keep doing them every day that I can find time to do so. So I appreciate it if everybody would help along with that. I figure I share some free content, you all click some free buttons, and everybody wins. So looking at Bitcoin, the video yesterday, we were highlighting a potential top in the near-term future overnight last night. And that did end up playing out. So we have the key resistance now at the all-time high of 44.34, and we pulled back very significantly, was looking for a 20% pullback, and from the high, we pulled back from 44.34 all the way down to 38.07, so over a $400 pullback, so over 10%, right around 10% at that point, and actually more than that, 15%. So didn't get that 20%, but this all happened very, very quickly. There's our volume climax signaling the top of an uptrend, at least temporarily, and we are now consolidating. But it's not a big dump. There was a nice bounce opportunity today. This is the 4-hour time frame, and once we hit our top, we could see the bearish reversal candlestick. We had confirmation and follow through on increasing bear volume, and we pulled back very significantly. We got oversold on some shorter term time frames, and that allowed for a bounce opportunity on those shorter term time frames as we bounced from the low of 38.07 and we got up to 42.12. So over a over a $400 bounce to the upside with a big gain to be had if exiting at the first signs of weakness and entering on oversold conditions. So on the hourly time frame, bearish reversal spinning top candlestick at the top, confirmed inside bar, bear break of the inside bar, and a dump. That was the top. That was the action of events that played out, and we dropped all the way down. Look at the volume climax on the hourly time frame, a little bullish reversal hammer, and that volume climax signaling the temporary bottom, and we bounced from there. So in a 4-hour time frame, little over 4 hours, we saw a very nice move with lots of upside potential. And then we got a little higher low and a higher high, and this very similar consolidation going on. 2 red candlesticks, bullish reversal hammer, 2 red candlesticks, bullish reversal hammer, solid bull volume here. So this move is still going with the bulls in favor. New support is down at 40.57, and then the other low after that would be 39.85, and resistance is the highest price we've seen. Again, that 44.12 level up here. So that's what I'm watching. And also want to point out a pattern that I kept an eye on. Once we bounce off this level here, and I just drew that support line, but you can see that this is a very clear support line on the 4-hour time frame. How many candlesticks have bounced off of here? But once we started to form this bullish reversal candlestick, the shape to me started to stand out of the potential bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern. And now this is a bearish doji on the 4-hour time frame, but we still have 2 hours until this closes. So have to be watching how this is going to close. But there is still potential that if this neckline of support were to break, that's down at about 39.80. And if we were to close below it on the 4-hour time frame, that would be the trend change. That's what the signal indicates. Higher lows and higher highs shifting to lower highs and then lower lows if we do break the neckline of support. So it's nothing to act on at this point. It's just something to be aware of and to be keeping an eye on. So hourly time frame, bulls need to see continuation with another higher high after the bulls bought the dip significantly here. And we can see the RSI was touching by the time we were down at the lows on that volume climax candlestick, we were below 30 RSI. And you look back at the last time we were at 30, we bounced exactly off that point as well, and then saw a continuation. So just looking back at previous history, knew to be looking for a bounce and a nice move followed through. Ethereum, what we had happen with the correlation was because Bitcoin was so strong, Ethereum and Litecoin didn't really see much action to the upside, and there wasn't much volume or volatility. Everybody was eyes on Bitcoin. And so we didn't see much of the correlation bullish, but once we started pulling back with Bitcoin, we did see a correlation bearish with Ethereum and Litecoin. So they got oversold more quickly because they were already fairly weak comparatively to Bitcoin. And here on the daily time frame for Ethereum, this is still healthy consolidation. We had a big bull run. Don't forget that. And although momentum has certainly shifted, the bulls are still going to form a higher low wherever that does occur. And right now that's down at 267, and we bounced significantly off of that level from oversold conditions, and that is a bullish reversal hammer that is going to need confirmation. But I'll be watching on the 4-hour time frame for the bulls to form a higher low and a higher high, because if we get a higher low and a higher high on the 4-hour time frame, we're going to get a bullish MACD cross to go along with it. So you can see the volume climax signaling the low, big long lower wick, and we've gone now from 267 up to 289, so a $22 move, about 9%, and a nice solid gain. There is a little bit of an indecision candlestick here, similar to Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, but not the same bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern. If there was one that you were going to draw, it would have already played out. So on the hourly time frame, and it would have been a sloppy one. That wasn't really a good looking bearish reversal head and shoulders setup. So on the hourly time frame, we do have the higher low and the higher high to be watching. To maintain higher lows on the hourly, we have to hold this support level of 277.63, and the top of this move is our resistance at 28. Make that 289.60. Next level, if we get a bull break, is going to be up here at that top where we rejected, and that's up at 296.70. So it's a solid bounce at this point. We do have a nice little higher low and higher high. There were decent profit to be had on this oversold bounce. I actually made a mistake with my play today, and I'll go over that here after I do the big three rundown. I'll go over my trade, my logic behind the trade, my thought process, and how it ended up playing out. So now looking at Litecoin. Litecoin was the weakest of the three, and we dumped and got very oversold. So the daily time frame, still pulling back, still likely to form a higher low compared to 38.28. It just hasn't happened yet. No bullish reversal candlesticks getting confirmed. So we zoom into the 4-hour time frame and see the all-out dump. The RSI down here on the 4-hour time frame was down at about 27, and when we were at our lows, it was down at about 26 and 25. So I scroll back and say, when's the last time the RSI was this low? And I scrolled all the way back, and there was one time here in the last 6 months that we have had this oversold in RSI. And the bounce that we had from there went to go 30%. So I was looking for an oversold bounce to play out on Litecoin. I liked the scenario that was playing out. Might as well go into the trade now. My mistake was trying to play a Litecoin bounce today and missing out on Bitcoin and Ethereum bouncing. So my play, I was looking for the oversold 4-hour RSI to see a solid move. And what else was shaping up for me was at the time that we were dumping, Bitcoin and Ethereum were still down at the lows and still weak, still had not found a bottom yet. Still had not found a bottom yet on that pullback. So Litecoin started bouncing before the other two. Let's look on the 15-minute time frame. And we were oversold on Litecoin on every single time frame from 5-minute all the way up to 4-hour. It was extremely beat up. So let's just look at Bitcoin as the comparison, and we'll look at the 15-minute time frame, and we hit the bottom down here at 10:30 a.m., and that was a volume climax on the 15-minute time frame, signaling that bottom on Bitcoin. And we went to Litecoin, and on the 15-minute time frame, the bounce started playing out at 6:15 a.m., so way ahead. And at that point, by the time 10:30 rolled around, we were already well on our way into this bounce. So the hourly time frame had already formed a bullish reversal candlestick and seen some follow through. So I got in and was quickly in the green, obviously not a significant gain. I was looking for a move into the $44 range, and I was in the green and in a comfortable position. The trade was working the way that, I was intending to, maybe a little bit slower. But then while I was in that position, Bitcoin bounced and Ethereum bounced a lot more significantly because we flushed to the downside and then saw that significant bounce. Look at that perfect volume climax on Ethereum, signaling the bottom at the 15-minute time frame. But the moves for both of these names were very fast and gave quick profits very easily on that trade. And as I'm in Litecoin and seeing that occur, I'm thinking, well, I could sell and bail out of this position, which hasn't even started developing. The 4-hour time frame was one of the main reasons that I got in. And I could play this bounce, but I'm going to stick to my trade game plan, which is what I still stand by that decision, just in the sense that nothing was going wrong for me. The trade was playing out the way that I was looking for it to. It was just a little bit slower. So I thought, okay, it's a longer term trade anyway. The 4-hour RSI is what's having me in this trade, and I want to see a bounce into the $44 range. So once the bounce started playing out, we could very clearly see a resistance level starting to establish with all of these upper wicks. So we pulled back from 43.30s and 43.40s multiple times, and back here the resistance was in the 43.50s. So it was very clear that we were struggling at those levels, but we still kept forming higher lows and hitting a wall of resistance. It was just a lack of volume and a lack of volatility and lack of action. And we just kept rejecting from these walls. So we did start to form an ascending triangle pattern with our higher lows, the tightening range. Felt like we were watching it forever. And the ascending triangle made a bull break. And right here, when this bull break occurred after rejecting this many times, you would absolutely expect follow through and a lot of volume to come in. And that's not what happened. We saw a lot of profit taking. Look at this candlestick here. That's all selling volume, and that's probably a little bit of my volume as well. But it was everybody recognizing, whoa, this is a ghost town. There is no bull volume on this break. We should be up in the $44 range right now very easily. And that's everybody saying, whoop, we don't have any strength. I'm getting out of this trade and going to go back and look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. But it was the lack of any follow through that had people bail the position. The bull break was there, but it was the lack of momentum on the bull break that led to this profit taking. And it wasn't an all out dump. I mean, still trading around here. I ended up getting out pretty much break even. So certainly wasn't a loss. I'm not sitting here upset with myself. This is me live going over the trade and, thinking about what I could have done different. And at this point, the only thing that would have been different would be to cut loose on my game plan that was still playing out and jump somewhere else on the fly. It would have been an on-the-fly decision against my trade game plan. So all in all, I'll probably stick with my game plan as long as it's keep playing out. But now, from this experience, I'm saying, all right, forget you, Litecoin. Neo's taking your stage, whatever. Nobody is trading Litecoin right now. The volume's not there. And the amount of volume that's just bots and just little ticks is very significant. So it's even less humans that's trading Litecoin. So I'm sticking back to Bitcoin and Ethereum, not going to get tempted by what I was looking for. And again, what I was looking for, just to show back on the 4-hour time frame, the bounces when they occur here, when the bull moves occur on Litecoin, there are big time candlesticks, but they're very fast and abrupt. And it's on the 4-hour time frame where we see huge spikes. So that's what I was looking for. And obviously it didn't end up playing out. And this is a potential bear flag on the 4-hour time frame, showing a weak bounce attempt. Could entirely possible that we do pull back and drop to lower lows. Really depends what Bitcoin does, because we do still have that bearish correlation where the pullback in Bitcoin is leading to weakness in Litecoin. So that was my trade, and really in the end, no harm, no foul, just a missed opportunity, and there will be plenty more of those. So we're going to continue watching for these bounces, because everybody's looking to buy these Bitcoin bounces, and there are some nice bounces to be had. So I appreciate all the likes and the shares and the comments. Enjoy interacting with everybody. And I will see you all tomorrow.